All right. We'll call the meeting of the City Council to order and state that the notice for this meeting was duly posted. There is a quorum of council present. Councilman Smith is out of the city, and Councilman Ellencat is in India. So if you'll stand, our Pledge of Allegiance and posting of the colors will be done by our Missouri City Fire Department Honor Guard.
Honor Guard, attention. Forward. March. Honor Guard, let's go. Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor Guard, dismissed.
Thank you. Steve, you there?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's always a bittersweet moment when we have a retirement, especially one involving someone that was so integral in establishing Missouri City and its police department as one that employs community policing and, one that's highly involved and cares about the community. Police Officer Dan Flagg, after 31 years of service, is retired from the Missouri City Police Department. We just recently, as a matter of fact, 2 hours ago, had a retirement ceremony for him downstairs, and we're extending that retirement ceremony to him now before council to celebrate the 31 years of tremendous service he's provided to the city of Missouri City. Captain Lance Bothell is going to come up and read you a synopsis of his service here in Missouri City. Captain Bothell.
Thank you. We're here tonight to celebrate Dan's 31-plus years with the Missouri City Police Department and a total of 38-plus years in policing. And he's not leaving us, or he's not leaving policing in all. He's going to work for Fort Bend County Precinct 3. Dan has held many positions within the Missouri City Police Department, including police officer, field training officer, corporal, acting sergeant, warrant officer, and most recently as our community liaison officer. In this position, Dan has served as our direct line to the numerous homeowners associations within the city, the various crime watch groups, the Rotary Club, the Lions Club, and the Police and Fire Auxiliary. Dan serves as the contact person arranging and coordinating our yearly Citizens Police and Fire Academy. He also coordinates our Child ID program, where he fingerprints children and creates wallet-sized ID cards with their personal information as well as fingerprints. Dan also plays a large part in the following programs: Are You OK?, Community Crime Watch, Help End Auto Theft, Home and Business Security Inspections. Dan also spearheads and manages our I Choose to Follow the Rules program. It's in this position that I truly do think Dan has made the greatest difference. This latest accomplishment is a perfect example of Dan's character, dedication, and compassion for the job and the most vulnerable citizens of Missouri City, the children. The I Choose to Follow the Rules program is designed to put a police officer into our local elementary schools and works to encourage those students to stay away from drugs, gangs, violence, and bullying. Dan didn't pick the easy schools to be involved with. He picked the Title I elementary schools. These students are usually economically disadvantaged and exposed to bullying, gangs, drugs, and violence at an early age. His audience members were at times very tough groups with students who were already dealing drugs, already involved in gangs, or being bullied themselves. Dan gave these kids positive alternatives and ways to avoid all of these behaviors. I commend Dan for embracing this program and turning it into something that really did positively influence children in Missouri City. You will see kids wearing those I Choose to Follow the Rules t-shirts just about anywhere you go in our city. Dan definitely made an impression on children in our community and without a doubt improved the quality of their lives as many chose to follow his example and not the negative examples they had previously chosen. It is not very often that we can end our careers in law enforcement with confidence that we changed lives for a better and left the community better off than when we started. Dan has without a doubt improved the lives of our citizens and made our community a better place. Dan, congratulations on a wonderful and successful career. Best wishes in your future endeavor. You will be missed, and your contributions will always be remembered. Thank you.
As is customary for our retirees, Dan, you have to come up and sit in a chair and be roasted by our illustrious mayor.
There's only room for one.
How's that, Dan? No, go ahead and sit down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So try that.
Yeah, try it out. How's it rock?
Oh, yeah.
Huh? Does that feel good?
Just load off.
Oh, no, don't get up, just stay there, Dan. We're not through, you know? You gotta stay there. You know, we had a reception for Dan prior to the meeting, and I know many of you were there, but some of you weren't. But I just want to say on behalf of the citizens, and especially council and myself, how much we appreciate the 31 and a half years that you've given your service to this city, Dan. There are people out here who you've touched many of their lives in many different ways. Some probably good, some probably not so good. But anyway, you know, I was looking at that picture. Is that one that you carried for one of the youth pictures, or what? Huh?
Sure.
Yeah. But anyway, Dan, you know, you will be missed. There's no question about that. The impact that you've made on this community and those many programs that you have been so instrumental in directing and being a part of, they'll continue, and they're going to continue as part of your legacy. And that's what's important, is that, you know, you establish a legacy when you do anything, and a good legacy at that, and people are going to look back and say, you know what, that was a program that Dan Flagg helped start. You know, I look back in those days when we had that other program that some of the police officers and firefighters remember fondly. You remember that? Do you remember that program?
Talking about the schools?
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about that joint program we had between firefighters and police officers.
PSO.
He's retired. PSO, well, you remember, you know, that, I know you were in it, but, you know, there was Bill Ennis left that legacy. And sometimes those legacies are good and sometimes they're not. I'm not so sure that one was good, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, the legacy, yeah, it was. The spirit was good. But anyway, the legacies I think that you're going to leave are memorable ones. And I think that whether we go about our daily duties, whether we're a police officer, firefighter, whether we're a plain citizen, we're going to remember the things that Dan Flagg did for this community. So on behalf of that citizenry, I want to thank you. Thank you, thank you. And I do have something I want to read for you. You know, this is, I can't, doesn't seem like we have many meetings that I either give a Glock or a clock. I made it very clear when I retired, although from the bank, I didn't get a Glock. But I told them I didn't want a clock either. But anyway, this is a certificate that when we have a police officer that retires from the city, one of the things that we want them to carry with them is the firearm that they've carried with them as part of just to join at the hip, I think, right? I don't know what that hip's going to do once you leave here. You're going to walk like this, you know. But anyway, this is a dedication of firearm, and it says, in recognition of over 31 and a half years of dedicated and loyal service for the City of Missouri City Police Department and other good and valuable consideration, the City of Missouri City wishes to show its appreciation to Dan Flagg, wasn't just the chair, for his effort to protect the lives, homes, and property of the citizens of the City of Missouri City, and does hereby convey to him one Glock Model 23 40 caliber handgun, serial number FEY 463, the firearm used by him in executing his duties. So, signed by the mayor of Missouri City. You got to sign this for a whole $1.
Yeah, just put up by Gerald Broussard.
Oh, Gerald Broussard put the $1 up, just so the people are, the city can't give anything away, we have to sell it, so we sold it to him for $1.
There's two copies there too.
And here it is. You did? Pretty nice, huh? Has it ever been used?
That's right.
It's
Anyway,
official.
yeah.
Thank you so much, Eric.
Congratulations to you. Get your wife up here. Come on, you got your wife, your kids, everybody come up here.
All you guys.
Yeah, come on.
Somebody's got to help me carry that rocking chair over there.
That's what I got so wrong.
Yeah. We'll let that police officer from Stafford come up
There
here.
you go.
And a future police officer.
Yeah.
He just graduated from the academy, so
Very good.
I guess I kind of started something.
Yeah.
No, it's been a pleasure, and I've enjoyed working with the citizens of Missouri City more than anything. And I've been community liaison officer for the last 12 years, and it's been a blast. This is what I really enjoyed doing. I've been on patrol, it seemed like forever, and then all of a sudden to work with the community and, trying to help prevent crime and everything and working with our citizens, it's just been a blast with Quail Valley Proud and the different homeowners associations and everybody, and then putting on the Citizens Academy for our citizens that attended it, and our Crime Watch programs. I've really enjoyed it, and I say this has been the fun part of the job. I've really enjoyed the last 12 years doing what I do. And working with Chief Fitzgerald, he's been fantastic. He's a great man to work for, and he's done great things for the city, and he's still doing them for the city. So it's been a pleasure for everybody.
Get the chair out of here.
Thank you, Mayor.
You guys want a family shot?
Tighten up so you like each other.
You got more time to ride then? I'm not having a riding party, yeah. We can really ride.
Jerry, you got a lot more time on your hand to ride with.
We'll ride motorcycles, I'll give you.
All right.
He retired too.
High town.
All right, we have some young people that we want to recognize. Our students from Hightower High School, Health Occupation Students of America, for their outstanding achievement in the annual HOSA National Leadership Conference and Competition in Orlando, Florida. So we wanted to recognize these outstanding students, and they are with us tonight, or at least I hope most of them are. So as I read your name, I want you to come on up and get your little certificate of recognition. This one says Certificate of Recognition. This award is presented to Omar Zahid, Gold Medal Creative Problem Solving. This one is presented to Drummond Patel, Gold Medal in Creative Problem Solving. Did I pronounce that right? Very good. This one is Jaskirat Gulati. How close am I? Silver Medal in Healthy Lifestyle. Testing my pronunciation. Gideon Okinawi, Okonomi, bronze medal in biotechnology. Now, y'all come up here and read your own name. Raya Patel, top 10 in human growth and development. Okay. We have Chandra McKinney, top 10 in epidemiology.
Hard to even say that word there.
Huh?
Hard to even say that word there.
I know. Are y'all ready to go back to school?
I call them bug now.
Oh, you're going to college. Well, that's still good. Yeah. And Tariq Mansouri, top 10 public health emergency preparedness. Super Patadia, top 10 public health emergency preparedness. This thing is trying to do its own thing. Akash Jacob, top 10 public health emergency preparedness. Jonathan Wang, top 10 public health emergency preparedness. Saeed Merchant, health education team and national champion. National champion. Very good. James Zhu, health education team, national champion. And last but not least, Anita Vasudevan. Is that right? Vasudevan. How about Vasudevan? Vasudevan. Health education team, national champions. Great job, guys. Represented the city well. I know you made Hightower proud, so. Yes, ma'am.
I have several more that should be recognized. I don't know if we didn't get them.
I bet we probably did not get their names. This is all I have, so we'll recognize them. Just let Maria know who it is. And can you tell us who they are?
They're going to tell
Okay.
who they are.
Go ahead.
I'm Joseph Alvarez, and I was with the team of Omar Zahid and Jamil Patel, and we actually got gold, so we're the national champions at HOSA for creative problem solving.
Hi, my name is Leanna Lo Chow, and Ashley got a gold medal with Anita, Jane, and Safe, and we got gold medal for health education.
Amazing. Come over and take a picture with them. We'll get those certificates to you. I don't know how we missed those two. Do you know? We got people that aren't here, and we didn't get those that are here. So.
Everybody squeeze up to get the picture.
Recognize her.
We'll get her to speak.
Okay.
And look here, please. And the ones who have your, and there we go. That's good. Okay. Ready? Smile.
Tell them a little bit about what they did. Big garden, what they did.
Good evening. I'm Beretta West, building principal at LV Hightower High School, and these gifted scholars represented not only our high school, our illustrious district, our state in Florida with the HOSA competition. These students were leaders, had to present. How long were you all there? I wasn't quite sure. 5 days in Florida competing against students from across. This was a national competition, so our students set themselves apart academically and with their leadership style. On behalf of their director, Ms. Tana Holmes, who is the director of the Medical Science Academy at Hightower High School, she could not be with us this evening because two of our HOSA sponsors are at a leadership convention in Austin. So thank you all for representing these awesome students, many of whom will be going off to their various universities, and several will be returning to Hightower for the upcoming school year. Thank you, Mayor Owens.
You bet. Congratulations again. Good job.
That was great.
It's always great to see our young people represent our city and our school district so well, and especially when they're top achievers like this. Wonderful, diverse group of kids. All right, I want to just say that we were saddened this week when Assistant Chief Keith Jameson's wife suddenly died Saturday. So I just wanted the city and the council to keep Chief Jameson and his 5 children in our prayers and pray that, they will handle this. It's tough anytime that you have a young family that loses their mother. So Chief Jameson was out of the city at the time that it happened, and so it's very sudden. So keep Keith Jameson in your prayers, and hope that his family gets through this. It's a tough time for them, and I just wanted us to think about them at this point in time. So anyway, thank you. All right, item 4, public comments. It's an opportunity for anyone to address council. I did not have anyone who signed up. Item 5 are staff reports. There are no staff reports at this time. Item 6 is the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as printed?
So moved.
I second that with an exception to agenda item 6E.
Okay, you want to remove 6E?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there's a motion to approve A, B, C, and D by Councilman Emery. Is there a second?
He did the second.
You're the
Yes,
second with that, all right.
Yes.
Councilman Wynn made the second. All those in favor, motion carries. Then 6E. Consider ratifying the change order number 5 to contract number 108-10B with Freeze and Nichols, Inc. for design services for the golf course clubhouse and community center phase 2. Just explain what that is, Scott, or whoever.
Mayor and Council, this is for the new city center construction at La Quinta and El Dorado. The project has had an extended time frame. As such, the original scope of work on the architectural design services has been expended. We have also had the need to increase the level of oversight to ensure that we get the building in on time out there. And we've got with the engineer, we have a amount of $55,694 for additional services due to the increased time frame and additional services being provided. And we would pay for that through underruns in other construction management services, basically cutting back on the construction management firm and going back to with this funding with the original design engineer on that. Staff recommends approval of the request for additional funding, change order number 5 on that.
Yeah, I appreciate the explanation. It's not pretty much for me to understand, but every time I'm going to a grocery store, even at fitness, people ask, when will the community center opens? Because it had been expected to be completed in July the 15th, and 1 month later, close to 1 month later, we are proposing a change of order for new architect design. And I'm so glad that you explained that. And then the ultimate party will be responsible for this is the general contractor, correct?
Yeah, and this won't be for any architectural design. This is for an actual construction manager, someone who they're familiar with as far as construction processes and procedures. Come in there, be there at least once a week to review what is the progress. Also be our agent to look to see where are there issues that need to be corrected or things that may not have been done even correctly the first time, and to bring that to attention so we can have those addressed.
To the best of your knowledge, when would be the estimated opening date? And I think there's so many.
Yeah, we meet with Summit not only weekly, but we actually tried to have a special meeting with Summit today on that to kind of tie up that a little bit. I know they told the grill that they should be able to open it up in 2.5 weeks. But it's one to where we've kind of had an extension of when are they going to be completed, so we're not even publicly stating when we think that date's going to be yet.
I'm gonna be a little bit more plainer than Councilman Wynn. This is additional money we're spending.
It is additional money with Freeze
And we're
Nichols.
spending additional money because we have a contractor who has not met his obligations. Is this recoverable money?
There are
Yeah.
damages that are being assessed
And
daily
it's important.
from,
No,
and
it
they
is.
did not hit their contract. So there's that piece that we are receiving damages for. Now, there was a part of it that Scott made mention that I want to try to bring back. We had a contract for construction management services, but it wasn't really, as far as when we dug into it, really construction management services. It was more of, they looked at the bills to make sure that everything was correct with the bills. So we have actually cut that piece out and are no longer receiving that from a third party. And instead, we're using the money that we were paying the third party for really reviewing the bills and you paying that directly to Freeze and Nichols for the actual construction manager on the ground reviewing the work that's being done.
But there are mitigated damages that have been accruing now since 15.
Yes, and the contract does specify the mechanisms by which we secure
And
damages.
I think that's, and Danny, I think that's important for citizens to know that
Yes, sir.
every day that we're not in it, the contractor is obligated under the mitigated damages.
And we've had communications with
They're well aware
the
of that.
contractor regarding
Yeah.
that.
I mean, we're losing business. Obviously, we're losing face.
Yes, sir.
More than we're losing business.
Well, I try to be diplomatic about it, but since I try to be nice, but yeah,
so
since-
nice, you know.
but since you brought it up, so may I ask if there's a lesson that to be learned about hiring contractor, what would it be? I mean, is there a lesson? to be
Going with the
learned?
lowest bidder not always is the
Yes,
best way to go.
Bingo.
And unfortunately, being a government agency, many times we're mandated to go with the lowest bidder if they meet all the qualifications. This is a classic example of why you don't always go with the lowest bidder. And sometimes it costs more money in the long run. In this particular case, we would have been a lot better off going with the second bidder in this and not dealing with this. But that's beside the point. We're already there. They met the qualifications.
Met the
That's
qualifications.
the bad thing, is that once that contractor meets all the qualifications that we set out and we do our background investigation, they had built colleges, they built schools, they built a lot of different things. Having dealt with them myself personally, I know that 3-month delay in this was the steel contractor. You can't do anything until the frame is up.
Correct.
They got 3 months behind with the steel contractor, and when I had the meeting with them, and they informed me that they prepaid their steel contractor, that's where the problem was. They couldn't fire that steel contractor and go hire somebody else. They had already paid this guy to do the job in advance, and he wasn't doing the job. So they got 3 months behind there, and there've been a lot of other issues that we've had to deal with as a, as a city, and we went through that in this building once before, and we went through it in the community center next door once before. And unfortunately, those things happen, and we'll get in the building. And I think this was the right thing for us to do, to make sure that we had somebody on site that represented us on a daily basis, that was saying, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, fix that, so that when we get ready to do our walkthrough, it won't be a long list of items. They will already been corrected, and I will tell you that there've been a long list of items that they've already had to correct from day one. So I wish we had been as successful as we had with the tennis center, but we weren't. And when we get there, Jerry was over every day. Maybe that's it. I
over there every
I
day.
promised I wasn't going to be over there.
Every day now.
I know, I had.
Yeah, I'm still over there.
High blood pressure every time I went over there, so I quit going, so.
Of that management, or that construction contract we had, that I guess we're terminating,
Correct.
how much of that do you have, I didn't know if,
I was trying to remember, I can't remember what the amount was. I don't know if Val's here to remember.
it was 30,000, wasn't that the original amount?
I
Val
don't
Root is
remember.
coming up. She'll tell us on that. But
We had about $80,000 left on their contract unspent.
How much?
80,000.
80? Okay.
so.
Not including the
100%
mitigated
of this-
damages.
100% of this change order number 5 would be coming from that 80,000 that was previously allocated to the construction management firm. and that had been, cut back and reduced on what we spent with them, and we'll use it on this. The advantage of using Freeze Nichols is they understand the intent and the original design of the drawings that they developed, and so that helps us out a lot on having that in-depth knowledge of the project.
Will this help us get a better date of opening
It will.
by doing this? So to think they'd be able to sit down and come back and tell us something that's a little longer than 2 weeks?
Yeah, we're trying to meet, as the city manager mentioned, we had a meeting scheduled for today. They got rescheduled till tomorrow morning, or tomorrow at 1, to try and sit down with the contractor and get a firmer date on the opening.
Realistic.
Labor Day weekend would be
realistic
great.
date.
But we want it to be realistic.
No, that's,
One of the issues is they are asking for, to go ahead with a punch list, but there are so many issues as far as that, it's, as Scott would make mention to you, the building is not punch list ready.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things to where it's difficult to even get to where we can firm up on a date because of just the number of issues that still need to be addressed before we can even say what's left on here to make sure that you get the fine tuning of it to make sure that it is ready for us to open up.
And I guess my point is that don't have this guy keep telling us 2 weeks, 1 week. I mean, he would be better off telling us 4 months and finishing in a month.
yeah. Yeah, it's,
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
thank you.
I move approval, item 16.
Second.
Councilman Marshall made the motion, Councilman Emery made the second. All right, all those in favor, motion carries. Item 7 are public hearings and related actions. There are no zoning public hearings, but 7B is a public hearing.
Concerning an order of the City Council, City of Missouri City, Texas, finding declaring the building and structures located at 3202 Confederate Drive in the City of Missouri City, Texas to be public nuisances and ordering the repair or alternatively the demolition and removal of the building and structures and providing for severability.
All right, this is D-Day. Where are we?
Well, he's here,
We have-
that's a good thing.
We have
He's always been here.
a schedule of work that has been submitted to us. I'm going to skip forward through this because you've already heard this twice. He submitted the schedule of work. His schedule, Mr. Zuniga, has secured a demolition permit. I have photographs that I'll put on the other projector so you can see what the condition was this morning. There are 2 dumpsters in the driveway ready to receive the materials from the interior of the house. We have not received the building plans or the reconstruction plans yet. However, he has told us he has them. His schedule is to erect the framing by August 24th, secure trade permits before the time that the trades start working, complete the electrical, plumbing, mechanical, et cetera, by the end of the month, complete the drywall work September 7th, complete the flooring and the trim on the 14th, finalize inspections on September 17th. That's the time frame he has projected, and if I can occupy the other projector, I will show you 2 of the pictures that Dale Wells took this morning. This shows one of the dumpsters in the driveway. There's another dumpster. So there's a lot of stuff to be taken out of the interior. The back side of the house, you can see the back side looks maybe a little better than the front side, but there's severe damage around the chimney. The roof is pretty well gone in the back, and they have been cleaning the area in the back. I know that there were some things in the dumpster, so I suspect they have moved the personal property that was sitting in the backyard into the dumpster, and I'll let him explain his schedule and how he intends to move forward.
Okay?
I secured the permit on the 1st and on the 4th. They've been there Friday, Saturday, and today. There's 2 dumpsters. This is a lot of trash, and one of the back one's almost full. The front one needs to be filled up.
Just some stuff out of the backyard. Huh?
Yeah, and the interior is just basic. A lot of trash that's coming out of that. So I've had my guys over there, basically they're not going anywhere no more. We got boots on the ground there, and we started. If you give me the time, I'll have this done. I've secured all the insurance that you guys' ordinance require, and I'm going to get the building permits out to him, which is the blueprints from Perry Homes. I have a contact in Perry Homes that already approved me using their permits, so I'm going to save a little money there, and as soon as they get them over to me, Mr. Smith and Mr. Wells will have them.
So what is your recommendation?
Our recommendation is to approve the proposed order that adopts his work schedule with understanding, depending upon the weather, there could be some slippage, but if the weather works in his favor, there should not be slippage, because I very much like to see people repair these houses without expense to the taxpayer. We've been successful lately in seeing that done, and he has invested in this property with the intention of reconstructing it, adopt the order as proposed, which includes his work schedule.
And as long as, you know, you're moving forward and progress is being seen by our guys, I think that's what we want. We'd much rather see that than a slab over there.
Yeah, I understand, and like I said...
We don't make money off a slab, we make money off of people living in
I don't either.
You don't either. Is there a motion?
Yes. Second.
Councilman
Good
Marshall
for you.
made the
Good
motion.
job.
Councilman Nguyen made the second. But thank you for working
Yes.
with us to make
Yes.
sure that this takes place.
Thank you guys for the time
You bet.
allotted to me.
We were a little tough on you, but you understand, we got neighbors over there that are tough on us too.
I get it. I might move into the property when I'm...
Very good. We'd like to have you as a resident. All right. We've got a motion and a second. All those in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 8 are appointments. There are none. And item 9 are authorizations. Item 9B. What happened to A? Huh?
I'm looking at 9A.
Who's proofing this?
Sorry, Mayor.
About 3 or 4 people, and we all missed it,
Uh-huh.
so.
Okay.
Good catch,
Let's
man.
consider awarding contract to the construction of golf course driving range netting improvements.
Move to adopt.
You didn't even have to come for this, Tyson.
I figured, but...
You could have stayed at home. This one was going to be done whether you were here or not.
Just in case. Easy job for you.
I know it. Mayor Pro Tem White made the motion. Councilman Emery made the second, did you not?
Yes, I did.
Uh-huh. All those in favor, motion carries. What's our timing on it?
On the netting, it was going to be, what, 60 days from,
30 days from approval, so.
30 days from approval?
30 days.
Did we hear back from Dominic?
Dominic, yes, from Centerpoint. And I talked to him, and it was one of, this. They have some people in different schools that are coming out, but they don't have one that kind of times up with what we're trying to do.
Okay.
Plus, the contractor on this one is a full-service contractor.
Okay.
So it wasn't going to be just get
When
the
we had
netting.
lunch with the new representative from Centerpoint the other day, I know that from time to time, they have training schools for
yeah.
setting poles.
Okay.
So I was hoping that we could get a little free pole setting out of Centerpoint, but the timing was wrong.
Another school, another task.
Another school, another
Okay.
time, okay.
By the way, Mayor, for your information, there will be a tournament with 3 consul generals from 3 different countries. We have a tournament here.
Oh, really? Are you playing?
Yes.
Okay.
I think, but you should represent the city to play.
Okay, you think? When is it?
It's September.
Okay.
Early September.
All right, we're working in our schedule. All those in favor? Oh, we moved, all right. You still don't remember what B was, what A was?
That was A, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Technically, it becomes a.
Huh? All right, item 10, ordinances, 10A.
An ordinance of the City of Missouri City, Texas, amending ordinance number O-1216, adopted May 21, 2012, by amending the redistricting plan and the list of 2010 census voting tabulation districts and blocks.
This is the second and final reading. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Mayor Pro Tem White made the motion. You made the second?
Just anything different than what I heard online?
No. That's right.
I watched
That's
city
right.
council from Poland.
He did. He watched city council from Poland.
Right, so.
Did
Keep
it
up
look the
with,
same
keep up
over
with
there?
it.
Did it look the same over there?
Looks real small on my screen.
Well, maybe Robin's watching us in India.
Extra credit for that.
You were right.
In Indian.
You were watching us, you need a life.
Yeah. It was delayed, wasn't it?
It was about 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. All right, there's been a motion and a second. All those in favor, motion carries. Item 10B,
An ordinance of the City of Missouri City, Texas, amending the general budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2011, and ending June 30, 2012, transferring various appropriations among accounts, appropriating supplemental revenue to various fund accounts, authorizing the appropriate city officials to take steps necessary to accomplish such transfers, making certain findings and containing certain provisions relating to the subject.
this is a one-time reading. Did the Budget Committee recommend that this be done?
We didn't have a budget committee meeting, but
Not on this one, no, we
but
didn't.
not on this one, but in reviewing it, I recommend that we do it. We
Okay.
do this every year to make sure we balance
Well, I
the
know
budget.
that, I just want to make sure.
I'll second.
All right. Mayor Pro Tem White made the motion, Council Marshall made the second. All those in favor, motion carries. 10C,
An ordinance of the City of Missouri City, Texas, amending City of Missouri City Ordinance Number 0214, adopted March 18, 2002, as amended, providing terms and conditions for compliance with Genetic Information Non-Discrimination Act as set forth in the Personnel Manual, providing for repeal and providing for severability.
okay, is there a motion?
Move to adopt.
Second.
Pro Tem White made the motion, Councilman Wynn made the second. If there's no discussion, we'll vote. All those in favor, motion carries. Item 11 are resolutions. 11A,
A resolution of the City Council, City of Missouri City, Texas, adopting the Fort Bend County Disaster Debris Management Plan and an addendum to the plan for collection and disposal.
Move to adopt. Second.
Mayor Pro Tem White made the motion, Councilman Marshall made the second.
Come in real handy if we have a hurricane.
Well, yeah. Scott and I both know that, well, they finally got one. Yes, because we were going to do our own if they didn't. And Ike proved to us that they did it at the right time, so. Is there any discussion? Anybody not understand what this is about? This is,
I'm just curious what this separate sheet of paper is.
Oh, the addendum that just came in.
the new amendment, or the new piece that came in this
What
afternoon.
was missing?
The addendum.
Oh, the addendum.
Yes, sir, the addendum is
Yeah.
just for the terms of reimbursement.
Right. All right, been a motion and a second. All those in favor, motion carries. Thank you, ma'am. I did notify them today that they had, the mayor of Arcola was wrong. They needed to have the new mayor on there. He replied back that he corrected it, so. Item 11B,
A resolution of the City of Missouri City, Texas, authorizing and improving membership in the Gulf Coast Coalition of Cities for the purpose of protecting the interest of the cities and its citizens with respect to electric and gas utility matters, and authorizing the payment of 15 cents per capita to the coalition to fund regulatory and related activities relating to electric and gas utility service.
this annual,
No, this fee is not. This is expected to be the startup fee. The cities will then determine which non-reimbursable matters in which they participate, and then cost will be allocated based on those and replenished as necessary.
but I mean, we've been in the Gulf Coast Coalition for a number of years.
We have been, in fact, over for 15 years, and this is a more formal process. It's very similar to the coalitions that are set up in the Dallas area.
Yeah.
Currently, we've only been participating in the reimbursable matters before the commissions. There have been several matters that have come before which do affect rates that are not necessarily reimbursable, which means the cities will need to fund the participation for these. Additionally, what these do in our reimbursable matters, when those come forward, the coalition does have to go to each individual city and have each individual city opt in. This provides that automatic opt-in, although the cities individually do have the right to opt out of any particular matter.
Well, that's one we've been doing every year.
Yes.
I move approval of this resolution.
Councilman
But
Marshall
it
made the
does
motion.
give us a larger voice
Yeah.
with these commissions.
Well, a
That's the important
consolidated,
thing.
yeah,
That's the
consolidated
important
voice.
thing.
Yeah, it's a coalition, instead of one against them, it's multiples against them. Very good, Councilman Marshall made the motion, Councilman Emery made the second, all those in favor, motion carries. 11C,
A resolution of the City Council of the City of Missouri City, Texas, amending Resolution R-0616 adopted on September 5, 2006, granting consent to the creation of Fort Bend County Levy Improvement District Number 19, amending and restating the terms and conditions of such consent resolution to allow Fort Bend County Levy Improvement District Number 19 to issue bonds for certain road improvements, providing for repeal and providing for severability.
Move to adopt.
Mayor Pro Tem White made the motion.
Floyd, and your
That's
address.
Floyd, yes. Mr. Emery? Didn't want to say anything? No. He's hiding behind Frank.
Oh, is he hiding behind
He's
Frank?
hiding back, he didn't want to say anything. There's been a
saw
motion and
him.
a
I saw him
second,
come
there's
in.
no discussion, we'll vote, all those in favor, motion carries. All right, item 12 are city council announcements. Before I give the Metro deal on it. Last week, I was honored to attend the dinner from the National Society of the Sons of the American Revolution. And this organization travels around and gives awards for people who fly the American flag. And they wanted to recognize Missouri City for us flying the American flag, and it says this certificate of commendation is presented to the City of Missouri City, Texas, in recognition of exemplary patriotism in the display of the flag of the United States of America. It's from the Alexander Hodge chapter of Sons of the American Revolution. Great award. We love flying the flag, all three of them, Texas, United States, and Missouri City.
We got 3 flagpoles over.
We do. The flag poles look nice anyway. They probably pass inspection.
I do have an announcement, Mayor.
Huh?
Missouri City has talents. I'm very proud to tell you that we now have Missouri City Ballet.
Yes, we do.
You were invited, but you had to attend to the other
I
one.
was very
And I was
honored.
there, and then this is a nonprofit youth ballet that strives to support the dreams and development of dancers through the greater Fort Bend area. And their commitment is to provide exceptional dance performances and art, educational outreach programs to our local community. So I ask we
Yes.
all support them.
We need to support them, and I wrote letters to the businesses in Missouri City, of which Trammell Crow signed up to be one of their big supporters, but they had their Nutcracker performance last year at Elkins High School, which I was
They asked me to make an
I was
announcement.
glad
then
to be there, and
become an event.
they,
And-
matter of fact, if we ever get in the new building, they're booking their formal event in our new building. So, yeah, Danny just, the Black Swan Gala is September 29th at Quail Valley Golf Course.
That's it.
At
That's
the
what I was
community
thinking.
center. So September 29th, we better be in that baby.
I tried to call you this morning to tell you that.
They're doing Swan Lake, October the 6th at the Stafford Center. Then they have the Sugar Plum Fairy Tea, again at Quail Valley, on November the 18th.
You better push it hard.
And then they're doing the Nutcracker the 24th and 25th at the Stafford Center. So most of these young people are residents of Siena. A great number of them are residents of Siena, but they're all residents of Missouri City, and they range in little bitty to adults. It's an outstanding performance, and I know that Eunice, was Eunice there?
Yes.
Eunice and Carl, Eunice has always been pushing me to have the arts.
Yep.
So I knew that Eunice would be there with
The only thing I was praying with that, I don't want them to ask me to be a dancer.
Yeah, they're going to ask you to
love
put
to see you on your toes.
they're going to ask you to put the tutu on.
I'll pay to see that.
I can tell you, a family had their family reunion at the Recreation and Tennis Center.
Yeah, they did.
And it was a big reunion. People from Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, and it's a resident that lives over in Quail Valley North. And I guess they probably had over 200 people there.
Really?
But what they really enjoyed about it, it was inside. They had activities that they could participate in. And so when they come back again, They probably gonna do it at the city center, because then they can get meeting rooms. They had to bring their food in from the outside through Papa, so they'll be able to take advantage of that. But they really had a good time. And they want to let everybody know what a good time they had.
Very good, that's great.
Well, before you start talking about Metro, might as well point out that Saturday, we did have our grand opening of the first police mini station on Texas Parkway. Had a great turnout of
Which
citizens.
district is that in?
That's in District A. There was some confusion as to what district they were in, and I tried to clarify what district they were in, but I'm very happy to see the first of many there on Texas
Yeah,
Parkway.
Bert posted some nice pictures.
Yep.
Yeah, very good. Well, as you all are probably well aware, if you've read the newspaper, if you've heard anything, the only thing that I have done for the last 3 or 4 months is deal with Metro. And last Friday, they had the final vote on the proposals that were presented to them for the referendum that has to be on the ballot in November. To back up a little bit, in 2003, when we renewed our contract under what then was called the rail referendum, it had a 10-year maturity to it. It also said that, actually it was in '04, but it said that by May of 2013, Metro was required to hold another referendum to determine whether they would continue what was called the general mobility funding. Back when Mayor Lanier was the mayor of the city of Houston, this was in the early '80s, he saw that it was important enough that they set aside 25 cents out of every dollar of sales tax that was collected by Metro to be used for general mobility projects. Again, if you remember back in those days, he used to call it the pothole money, because it was to repair streets and sidewalks and infrastructure things that, at that time, there was no real allocated funds set aside to take care of what was called general mobility funding. In 1994, the city of Missouri City, the city of Katy, and the city of Humble went to the legislature to get out of Metro because we were not getting our fair share of what we were paying in. The city of Missouri City is the only city in Fort Bend County that is a member of Metro. There are 14 multi-cities that are made up throughout the region. 23 of those cities outside of the region are not in Metro, but they utilize the services that Metro offers. That's a different point altogether. But in 1994, the three of us went to the legislature to actually get out of Metro because the three of us were contributing over 80% of the total tax revenue that was generated by the 14 cities. Because a lot of these are small cities that don't have a whole lot of retail in it. Taylor Lake Village is probably the smallest of the group. Their sales tax amounts to about $52,000 a year, where ours amounts to $6 million a year. Katy's is about 8, and Humble is about 10. So under the agreement that we came out of the 1994 legislative session is that the three of us would remain in Metro as long as we received half of our penny back, which we receive quarterly, and we do our own projects, and we do not go to Metro and ask them for any funding. The other multi-cities who pay small amounts actually are able to go to Metro and apply for funding for their projects if they see fit to do it. Well, as you well know, the city of Houston passed their Rebuild Houston plan last year, and a large portion of the debt service that will be used to repay the debt that was issued for that comes from general mobility. So there's been a real controversy going on right now because Metro needs to finish the 3 rail projects in the city of Houston that they've started, and they don't have the funds to do it. Nor do they have any funds set aside to do the 90A project, which serves Missouri City, that was voted on by the voters in 2003. They recognize that it was voted on, but every time we talk about it, it's, well, Mayor, we know that, but there's no money for it. Well, I don't think there ever will be any money for it, quite frankly, at the rate they're spending money on other rail projects. So the 14 multi-cities decided that we would propose a resolution to Metro that you all have all seen, that basically was a little bit different. It moved 5 of those 11 cities up to join the 3 of us, so that we would each, those 8 would receive half of what they pay in and not ask Metro for any funding. The other 6 smaller cities would have a fixed payment amount based on their needs, and the 6 of those total was less than $900,000. It was $850,000, give or take a few pennies. And that there would be a fund set aside of $1 million that they would be able to go to Metro if they had a project and say, we have a project, let us draw against the $1 million pot. When the million was gone, it was gone. Now, if you saw the plan that it took us weeks, 3 of us working on for weeks to put together, you'd have a hard time understanding why Metro would not even recognize it. It amounted to $10 million a year less than what they're paying today. $10 million less than what they're paying today. But it was very obvious that when you look at the makeup of the board at Metro, there are 5 City of Houston appointees, there's 2 county, and then the multi-cities appoint 2. Doesn't take you long to figure out that they have the votes, and whatever the mayor wants, is how they're going to vote. Their original plan, it came back to us, was that they would cap everybody based on our 2014 tax collections. They would cap everybody at 60% of that collection rate, everybody. And we said, no, we're not going to accept that. So they finally came down. There is a set time frame in which Metro has to have everything done. Last Friday, they had to have the referendum voted on. By this next Friday, they've got to actually vote on the wording for the ballot referendum so that they can have a November vote, a general referendum on the ballot in November. There were originally 6 proposals that were submitted by the 9 board members. The 2 county representatives and the 2 multi-cities joined forces in a single resolution that was what basically I just talked about, was to continue the general mobility funding at its current rate and leave everything alone. I encourage you to go in and look at Metro if you have nothing else to do. You can go in and watch Metro's board meeting last Friday. It's 3.5 hours long. You can fast forward and get it to 2 hours and 10 minutes. Start at 2 hours and 10 minutes and go forward and watch that. Because the first hour and so, they drew from a hat, and they voted on each of the proposals. The one with the least vote got thrown out. And that's how they got through all this, and they actually got down to 2 proposals. The proposal that the multi-cities proposed and that the county proposed, and the proposal that was voted on that you see today, which basically said that the City of Houston, the county, and the 11 multi-cities would have their funding cut to 25% of what they collect. Now go back to Taylor Lake Village. They will get $17,000 a year. They've been receiving about $150,000. Bel Air collects about $2 million in sales tax. They'll be cut to $250,000. The county collects $53 million. They get $53 million from Metro. They'll be cut to $25. They left the 3 of us alone for now. They left the city of Missouri City, they left the city of Katy, and they left Humble. In their resolution, it says that all of the other cities and the county are cut to 25% of whatever they collect. The other 3, what they call the big 3, we've been name the big three, will get a disproportionate share, a higher disproportionate share. Notice it doesn't have a number in there. So I, in fact, after the resolution was passed, emailed Gilbert Garcia, who's the chairman of Metro, and I said, does the disproportionate share still mean 50%? And his answer was, that is my intention. So what I'm telling you is that I have not seen anything that assures us that that disproportionate larger amount is still 50%. I'm assuming that it is, but I don't know that for sure. And this has to be on a referendum in November. I can tell you, and based on the conversations that I've had with Judge Emmett, Commissioner Raddick, and some other people with the county, they aren't happy with this at all. Now, what's unfortunate about this referendum, that it's a win-win for Metro, a win-win for Houston. If the referendum fails, general mobility goes away, and Metro gets it all. If it passes, then you'll see what I'm talking about, what I just announced is part of the referendum. So it's a win-win deal for them. They can't lose in this deal. But between now and November, once we see the actual wording on the ballot, and once we actually see some true agreement on what Metro agrees to do with the city of Missouri City, the city of Katy, and the city of Humboldt, we will have a decision to make what we want to do. Now, past that point, I can't discuss what those options are, because under our current contract, we cannot, as a body, take any action or even discuss any actions that would indicate that we would be getting out of Metro. If we were to do that, they could stop the funding tomorrow, and we're at risk of doing that. So I hope that you all understand that I will continue to report to you as the mayor and as the chairman of the Multi-City Coalition, but we can't have discussions and we can't take actions as a governing body, because we're at risk when we do that. So I hope you bear with me, and I'll keep you as informed as I can. I live and breathe this every day. I wish you knew how many hours that I have spent dealing with this, and how many meetings that Sue Spack of Hedwig Village and Bob Fry, who's the mayor of Westview, and I have spent with numerous board members, county people, the mayor of the city of Houston, Chairman Garcia, Gilbert, the whole ball of wax. And again, we've got some decisions, and when I feel like that we're in a position for us to have open discussions about the decisions of what we're going to do, then I think it'll be appropriate for us to have those discussions. You're going to start seeing some things in the paper. You're going to start seeing some of these smaller cities go to their councils, because, again, they're not under the same contract that the three of us are. They can talk about getting out. They can talk about it all they want to, and they've hired a lobbyist who's been working with them since day one. I don't know what their chances are of getting out. I think their chances are very good in getting out if this referendum fails and they lose it all. I think everybody's chances are very good. So, but the mayor loses too. She loses the funding for her Rebuild Houston if it fails. I don't know. It's not an interesting thing. Unfortunately, I've dealt with them for 18 years, and what they say is the new Metro is still the old Metro.
It's a good thing you're retired, you have all this time to vote.
It really is. I'm glad. Yes, it is. I'm glad I'm retired so I can devote full time to this. So, but anyway, I hope you all bear with me, and I will keep you as informed as I possibly can. I will keep legal Caroline informed. I am going to meet with our lobbyists to see what our options are, because again, we can do whatever is necessary to protect our citizens' interest. It doesn't say we're going to get out. It just says that we can we can go to the legislature and do what is in the best interest of our citizens, and that's what we will end up doing if need be, so.
And what was our collection back from Metro?
Huh?
How much did we receive back from Metro?
We
A
pay,
year?
well, our sales tax is $6 million, and we get $3 million back. In the last 11 years, we've paid in $56 million, and we've received $23 million back. There is an adjustment, it's not 50% of that. What we collect, there's a 15% adjustment for utility taxes that comes off of that. So I can tell you, living with these numbers, we've collected our 50%. And guys, prior to that, from 1978 up until 1994, we actually applied for projects. And you know, Scott will tell you, we got our fair share of projects. The bridge over Oyster Creek on Cartwright Road by the YMCA was a Metro project. Gessner, the widening of Gessner was a Metro project. The traffic signals, the stoplights in front of Walmart on Highway 6, our yellow blinking lights at school crossings were paid for by Metro. The extension of Court Road, yeah, it was a Metro project. It didn't quite go as we planned all the way, but, you know, there are projects, and we were always there, but we were paying in millions of dollars, and we weren't getting our fair share back. And so that's the deal we cut. And hopefully they've recognized that. The mayor called me and told me that she recognized the fact that the three of us were different from the other 11 cities. She recognized that we're in a growing mode. As Jeff Wiley pointed out, our sales tax is just now beginning to really climb. And had we agreed to cap our sales tax at the 2014 level, just as an example, let's say that our sales tax in 2014 was $8 million instead of $6 million. Metro would get 4, we'd get 4. But let's say in 2015, the sales tax went to 9. I still get 4 and they get 5. I always would get 4 and they would get the increment increase all the way out to 2030. Now this referendum, one other point, this referendum calls for a revote. Goes back to the citizens in 2012 and 2021. What is important about that date is that when the census is done in 2020, the county was within 90,000 people this past census of exceeding the number of people who live in the city of Houston. Legislatively, under the Metro's formation in 1978, it says that when the county population exceeds the city of Houston population, the county gets 2 more votes. They get 2 more members on the Metro. Well, in 2021, I can assure you, because the county is growing much faster than the city, in 2021, there will be 4 county votes, 2 multi-city votes. If you're a mathematician, it becomes 6-5. And the city of Houston loses. Because the county and the multi-cities will take the organization back over and do what we want to do for a change.
Well, I'm gonna write that date down so I can remember it.
Let's hope we're here.
I'm just joking.
Yeah, we're here. But that's the importance of if you're wondering why they said 2021, that's the importance of that date. And they'll have another vote in 2021. Now, for the 11 multi-cities, and that's from 2014, because remember that this referendum is in 2013, but it does not take effect until 2014, because that's when the contracts expire. So if the 7 years after the 2014 date is okay with the 11 cities and they can live 7 years with 25% of their sales tax, it can change in 2012. But anyway, guys, it's a history book. I'll be happy to visit with any of you individually, one-on-one, if you have a question about it, but I'm tired of dealing with it. I'm tired of dealing with reporters and emails and...
You're doing a good job, so keep it up.
Yeah.
I think the city manager needs to meet with Danny and I.
Yes. Very good. Thank you all.